Hey everybody, sure glad you came back to hang out a little bit. Yep, transmission time. This is the 4-speed of the manual type. Anyway, belongs in this MGA behind me. We've got the engine pretty much together enough for now to put in, but now we got to do this. We want to reseal some stuff. Maybe get a look at a synchro or two if it's convenient. You know, the fluid looks good. We won't see any material in it. That would tell me that everything's going to be good. So, but we'll see. We got our original MGA shop manual, and it's in English. Well, not my kind of English, but it's English. So let's dig into this and see what we find. Sure glad you guys came back to hang out. You know, it's a good thing that labor is cheap here at Junks Automotive. I've spent the last hour and a half taking off the clutch release thingy and the clutch release slave cylinder. Slave cylinder came off alright. This pin was frozen here, which goes to this, and I'm pretty sure, now I could be wrong, I'm not an English car sports guy kind of car guy, but that shouldn't be that thin in the middle. I kind of figured we'd need a slave cylinder, but this pretty much proves it. Yep, she's getting a new one. Then this bolt, which goes through here, it's kind of a tolerance fit. Obviously you don't want slopping around. There's a bushing in here. The bushing is not good. The bolt is not good. You can tell by the way it is. And this bolt goes through here. The arm goes through the hole there, and there's your release. It's not even a bearing. It's sort of like a brake pad material. Well, no, we're going to do some looking into all this. I know we're going to need this bushing and this bolt. It might be fine without it, but that might serve to cause a problem later. Alright, maybe now we can start taking stuff apart. This car is really not that bad to work on. It's small, but as long as this thing is set, everything's took heat soak to get it apart. Okay, let's try to get somewhere. Alright, so I read the instructions on this here English race car. I guess it's more of a sports car, you don't be technical. It says to remove the remote shift mode thing. I'm guessing that's what this is. Need to take it all apart. You know, it's got a little pivot ball thing. Get it all, just like everything's just froze up and rusty. The funny thing about that book is it calls this and a lot of the suspension stuff, that right there, that brass thing in there, they call it a bush. It's a bush. Now, we speak English. I guess, and they're the first ones that spoke English. And we're just the hillbillies on this side of town. So, you know, bushing doesn't seem like, you know. I'm talking about bush, I guess. We'll start by just taking covers off, because the directions aren't very, you know. I'm gonna look at them again. It's kind of funny to read them though, but it's not at all, you know, saying there's anything wrong with English people. That's where I'm from. My original family came from England, so, you know. But English humor, I think, is the funniest thing ever, you know. It's kind of a, it's kind of a drab, dry kind of humor, like mine. There's that. It said something about taking out, I don't know, I'll have to look. This looks a little crusty in here. There's a safety wire. Is Ralph Sr. a transmission guy? Might be. Anyway, let me get this tail shaft off because it says that I should be able to take that off. And then over here, you see bolts, but up here, they're flathead screws. I imagine that the transmission tunnel goes that close. Don't know. Oh, and by the way, it's got a dipstick. It doesn't do dipstick things because it doesn't come out. I've soaked that for the last, well, since last fall, and it won't come out. I'm hoping to get the tail shaft off and get in here and be able to knock it out. Something else we gotta buy. All right. You know, let me show you this. This is, I don't understand this. Right here. That's a nut on a stud. Well, I say whelp a lot, don't I? Yeah, we'll have to work on that. So anyway, got tail shaft off. Now, it appears that I might have to do some cleaning. Just it's probably the original fluid that was in here. And it's really thin, and there's the thicker stuff's laying there. There's no material in it. It's just gooey stuff where it's all separated, you know. There's the covers. That's just aluminum casting there. Okay, well, there might be some dirt. What I'm saying, there's no brass. There's no brass. There's no metal. Same in here. Just some gooey, nasty fluid. Look at this. Ralph Sr. has been here. No, I'm kidding. The safety wire thing is generally a aircraft thing because of vibrations and just secure it. I mean, it's probably before they had red Loctite. I don't know. I did cut that one thinking I had to take this whole thing off. But I put my own piece of wire in there and some red Loctite. It's not coming out. It's fine. But you know, everything rolls over really nice and smooth. I don't think we have any issues. Matter of cleaning it, resealing it so it doesn't destroy my new transmission bushing here. That was soaked with oil and all ate up, the whole thing, you know. That's all we're doing. Inspecting and cleaning and reassembling. But now, I'm going to get this stuff in my little solvent tank. There's my solvent tank. And then take the front cover input shaft thingy apart. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, doesn't look like he really knows what he's doing. But I'll tell you, I've worked on transmissions, okay, 90% manual and automatic transmissions for the better part of 30 years. That's what I did for a living. So these actually look like a very simple transmission. I could take it apart. You've got there's your main shaft, there's your counter shaft, and the reason you have your counter shaft is for reverse. And there's your reverse shaft right there, your reverse idler they call it. So there, you know, this transmission will be just fine, I believe. All right, let's get on to the next step.
I hopped up there and the flashlight shined in there. I didn't really see nothing.
Well, because it uses it.
Yeah.
The body, the body of the reservoir. It's got a little neck where the thing goes on.
Yeah.
Fill it up to the bottom of that neck.
Gotcha.
So you don't want to see. Hard to find the.
Yeah, in the dark. That's why when I hopped in, I had to like feel which pedal's which. It's so small, I wasn't sure. We had a gas. You broke her loose there.
Starting the cleanup process. Every little piece. Go over, clean it out, flush it out. I wanted to show you guys this real quick. This would be our input assembly, input shaft assembly, input shaft. Pretty cruddy. Downside here, it's kind of hard to see, right here is where our input shaft seal rides. And it's a good thing I did this because there was no seal left. It was all ate up. It's pretty cleaned up now if you look at it. Your you know, bushing, pilot bushing, and the end of the crankshaft goes here, helps locate this whole thing, you know, so it needs to be able to spin freely. Well, it was pretty ate up, but I got it cleaned up. I think it'll be just fine. Lots of grease on both and we'll be good. Nothing a little 400 sandpaper can't clean up. Clean these splines up a little bit. You don't want your disc sticking, right? Clutch disc. Yep. Alright, let's put a seal in that and get that put together. Alright, figured I'd show you something here real quick. This seal didn't go in this way. It goes from the inside out. Alright? Just a rubber neoprene kind of coated rubber seal, lip seal. So it needs to go in this way. The problem you would have is, how do you press it in there? Well, you find a socket, find something that fits just like that. Alright? So you don't damage the seal and knocking her home. And the tool that you're gonna knock it in with has to fit just inside that hole. I believe this is a not sure what it is. It's some sort of special tool. So what I'm also going to do, a little bit of RTVage here. What I want to do is have just a little bit inside there so that fluid doesn't weep around it. And it's made of rubber, no doubt. It shouldn't anyway, but if I've scarred that up a tiny bit and a little imperfection here and there, we're getting the old one out, this will save your day right here. But I'm only going to use a little tiny bit. Alright? Just put it on the inside there. Nice thin coat. This transmission stuff, not even so much as engines, but transmissions, all this stuff is reliant on each other to be exactly where it was supposed to be. So if you use too much, like if I want to put this on and smear it with RTV and stick it on there, it probably wouldn't work out because you're changing the clearance. And there's a shim that goes right in here. Right? So we'll have to get that greased in when we put her together. Anyhow, let's go ahead and see if we can do this. It'll make a liar out of me, more than likely. So I can about push it in with my hand. Just use the toolage. I'm just lining it up where it's square on there. Once, you know, you look inside and I can see the little gap, so we just got a little bit more. There we go. I think that's gonna do it. Wiki woo. All right. I found my gasket, and like I was saying, if I can get this off without destroying it, I want to make sure it's going to fit. We don't want to go slobbering RTV on there, but I want to make sure that it's going to seal up, so I've got a trick. As far as cleaning this, again, machine surfaces, they're kind of tolerant to where they ought to be. So don't get your big die grinder and your big cookie thing and buzz it all off or throw it on the wire wheel, because you don't want to mess that up. You're changing your clearances, right? Most transmission stuff is exactly like this. So, the old-fashioned razor blade, just scrape it. Don't scrape it this way. Scrape it backwards, right? It'll take it right off. A little bit of brake clean, and scrape it, you're done. As far as the little trick goes, gasket adhesive would be really good. You know, now it's going to suck if somebody takes it apart and needs to work on it and clean that gasket off, but I don't have gasket adhesive, but I do have spray adhesive. That should work. Let's see, where does this thing go? Just like that. So all I'm going to do is lightly give her a coat. That will help it seal. Stick that on there. I got it backwards. Oh, there we go. Boy, it's getting sticky quick. There we go. There we go. Got my shim greased in there. Gotta pay attention, put all that stuff back. Just like it were. And I got the shaft greased up here for our new seal that's installed. I'll give her a little jiggle and a wiggle over that shaft, and we'll tear up that seal. There you go. Had to work around that seal. You don't want to roll it over. Then we'll put our hardware in, and we're done. Except for the parts I got to find for all this, the disengager thing. Well, there you have it. Pretty simple deal to do. Now there'd be more to it if you wanted to go in and put, you know, synchros in it. And if I saw an indication that I needed to do that, we would do that. Maybe. Depends on the cost. It might be cheaper to find another one. Don't know, but you know, it's a good transmission. We got a couple little things left I'm going to do to it, but hopefully in the next video we'll get the engine and the transmission, you know, back together again, reunited, so to speak. But I got a couple things, a couple parts to figure out what I'm going to do on the release bushing bearing thing, and kind of see what's out there. But oh yeah, I got to replace this bushing. Problem is I can't find it. It's around here somewhere. See you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you on the next one.